We outline the difficulties that new entrants into the IT sector have to face. Let's speak now to Stefani Lockman, who's the chairperson of Progressive Blacks in ICT. Stefani, good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for your time. I understand that, your organization has about 3,000 SMME members nationally. Speak to us about some of the difficulties that your members have had to face during the lockdown.
No, thank you very much for the invitation. I think it is time that our organization speaks out on this issue. Our SMMEs, some of them have closed down totally without the hope of reopening. Many have battled with the processes for these relief funds. As we sit today, I have no SMME that has been successful in any of the relief fund processes. And I must say, from our side, as much as we were essential services under the level 5 lockdown, moving into level 3, the economic pressure was just too bad, and many of them have suffered, are still suffering. They had to let their staff go. So now you have skilled graduates that are sitting without employment. So I must say it's been quite a challenge during this time.
And what has exactly been the challenge when it comes to applying for those relief funds that government has introduced?
The challenge has been the processes is unnecessarily stringent. It requires a lot of documentation that our SMEs, especially our black SMEs, simply did not have. For example, one of our SMEs spent about 33,000 rand because the relief fund process required management account. They then received a grant of 7,000 rand. Up until today, they have not received that 7,000 rand. So you have a system that requires all these documentations, tax compliance. It's just too stringent for our SMMEs. Some of them couldn't afford getting all these documentations ready. Some of them didn't even have data to apply. So I must say the systems were not there to enable us. The systems do not help us. Most of our SMMEs did not receive any relief from any relief fund that was launched. And now our question as the PBICT is, where is the money? If it's not in the hands of the black SMMEs who need it, where is it?
Sure.
So yes, we need any assistance, most of us, or actually all of us.
And is this conversation one that you've had with government to say to them, listen, we're trying to apply for the relief funds, the measures that you guys, or the requirements that you guys need from us are just too stringent for us to even apply?
It's a sad day what's happening because, colonialism has prevented us from participating in the system. The very laws are preventing us again now from accessing anything on this system. We've engaged government on all our different platforms. We were part of some provincial task teams that were launched. We spoke to MECs about these issues. We spoke to government. We spoke to the regulator of ICASA when they released the free spectrum. That can't our SMEs also get some of it? Again, they didn't listen to us. Instead, they released it to, the 4 or 5 big telcos that are currently hogging the market. They don't respond to us at all. They've been non-responsive. We are currently preparing a response to the procurement bill, addressing some of these issues that as youth and as skilled youth, we're coming to the system and we are educated, we are skilled, but you have things like the procurement bill that requires tax compliance, it requires financial resource just for you to participate and submit a bid. And this is totally ridiculous. What's happening in this system is causing further injustice. It is preventing our 3,000 SMMEs from participating in any big procurement process. And I must say that the money is still not getting to us. We are not equal and we are far from it.
Sure. Stefani, let's speak right there then on transformation in the sector and some of the policies that government has put in place when it comes to growth and possibly supporting people from previously disadvantaged backgrounds who are now entrepreneurs and really want to make the most of being part of the sector.
Look, from a transformation perspective, the last report that we have from National Treasury paints a very grim picture. It's actually a scary picture because as much as the laws are there and they are good policy directive, they are good laws that need implementation. But I must say that you have some provinces out of 300 million spent, ICT spent, none of that money has gone to a black SMME. The laws are not there to help us. They are designed to still keep us out of the system. These big telecommunication companies are boasting with level 1 BE status, and we cannot compete against them in procurement processes. So that's the current issue. They are now using supplier development to get themselves to a level 1 or level 2. And when we go through a procurement process, we simply cannot compete. They come with their muscle of economic power to prevent SMMEs that need to benefit from this and keep them locked out. And that is what we have been experiencing. As I say, some of us are deployed to the 4IR Presidential Commission. Some of us sit on the Transformation Sector Councils. And we are singing this song. We are saying that COVID-19 just showed us that the have-not and the digital divide will get even worse. It has actually actioned us and steered us into a realization that transformation has not happened. As the biggest lobby group currently in the country, we are saying that our SMEs are still being kept out. We are educated, we have gone to school, we are skilled, and we are willing to work. But the system is failing us.
And I mean, sitting in those positions and in close proximity to people who make the decisions, do they acknowledge that, you know, COVID-19 and the lockdown is a chance for them to really work on transformation and making sure there's competitiveness and innovation within the sector?
You know what? I can only hope that we have the right people sitting at these tables. I can only hope that they are listening and that it is steering them into a different realization that we have to become radical about transformation. We cannot sit and have talk shops and have all these important meetings with all our important government officials and still nothing is happening. So, you know, I can only hope that they are hearing our cries. They are hearing that now we are graduates, we are skilled professionals, and we are poor. We don't have money. The COVID-19 saw us collapsing. Most of us collapsed under this COVID-19. And the participation in the mainstream economy is still not happening for us. So I can only hope that now, as fast as we promulgated gazettes and we took action during COVID, I hope that same urgency they will show towards this issue of transformation, especially for black people in general, women and historically disadvantaged persons.
Sure.
So they are still not participating. And it's a very big problem for us as the PVICT.
Stephanie, as we wrap up our conversation, what sort of relief or advice have you been giving to these entrepreneurs who have now found themselves in a difficult situation? And, you know, your organization, what would you like to be done to really save those who are still able to operate but could only operate for the next 2 or 3 months or so?
You know, as the PVICT, we are saying these things are not difficult. We're not asking for many things. We're asking for simple things. For example, remove compulsory briefing sessions in procurement processes. Remove the fact that SMMEs, any participant must buy a bid document for 1,000 rand. Remove those things. Remove compulsory briefing sessions and have an online system. Implement things like blockchain technology that makes procurement processes transparent, where everyone is able to participate. Procurements above 10 million must be strictly for 100% black people that are born in South Africa. Because what the foreign companies are doing, they are coming with their economic muscle and their money, and they are competing with us, and we are unable to compete. So it's those types of things. 100% black-owned businesses must be tax exempt for the first 3 years. Or alternatively, the pay-as-you-earn tax must be reduced from 28% to 18%. We are saying these simple things will already see a massive change and a shift in the current status of the SMMEs. We are also saying things like remove mandatory requirements like tax compliance, financial resources, certificates that prove compliance with many things. Remove those things because it's that thing that is preventing SMMEs from participating. I have a SMME, for example, that has spent 120,000 rand just to comply, to enter a procurement system. So we are saying to government, and in closing, that there are simple and small things government can do to just take to give us a bit of relief in this sector. Remove all these compliance, these heavy compliance and stringent unnecessary processes. Banks must be willing to assist SMMEs and stand collateral for them, and they must make access to money and to resources much easier. But currently, as we sit today, I'm telling you, the story that we are painting is not a good one, and it's not helping us. So those are simple things that government can think of.